I'm delighted to be joined now by Dr. Paul Stott, the Head of Security and Extremism at Policy Exchange and co-author of the report. Thank you for joining us this morning. First of all, there was a lot of controversy around the Trojan Horse affair, allegations of the original letter that kicked this all off being somehow fake. There was a New York Times podcast that accused the whole affair, then the government response to it, of being racist. Where do you stand on that?
Good morning, Tom. I think it's worth noting with the Trojan Horse affair that there were, I think, 3 investigations that were conducted at the time, and what was found were serious problems within some schools in Birmingham that were attached really to a drive for a sort of Islamisation of schools, which had been promoted by some activists and some organisations for many years. The problems actually predate the Trojan Horse affair. There have been concerns raised before, and indeed some problems in Birmingham schools, opposition to teaching about sex education and homosexuality has flared up on various occasions. Unfortunately, with organisations like the New York Times, they have an agenda really at sort of chipping away at issues like this. And over time, the findings from 2014 of the different inquiries into Trojan Horse have become rather sort of airbrushed from history, hence the need for our report.
And what does your report uncover about the truth of the matter? Because there's been so many different sort of accusations flying from either side on this. Was there a plot to uninstall secular teachers and install sort of Islamist ideology in our state sector?
Well, I've spoken quite a bit with Khalid Mahmood, one of the Labour MPs in Birmingham, and he was in regular contact with whistleblowers in Birmingham at the time, who, their jobs had been made virtually impossible, and Birmingham City Council reached a whole series of agreements with people who were basically paid off and had to leave their employment. The types of things going on in the schools are a matter of public record. The segregation, increased segregation of boys and girls, the call to prayer in the school playground, a school trip to Mecca, and of course non-Muslims cannot go to Mecca, so pretty obviously any non-Muslim pupil or staff were excluded. The sort of things that really in non-denominational schools appear pretty strange, to say the least.
No, really, really interesting stuff there. The call to prayer in secular playgrounds, really concerning. This report, published by Policy Exchange, is really worth looking at, and indeed a foreword, if I'm not mistaken, by Michael Gove and Nick Timothy to it. So anyone interested in that can find it online. But for now, thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Paul Stott, Head of Security and Extremism at Policy Exchange.